I hope that with the resolution, there will be an opportunity to advance religious tolerance nationwide and diminish the misunderstanding directed at the Muslim community. Earlier this month, we advanced funding for 4 transportation projects in the 5th Congressional District, totaling $32.5 million. These provisions passed as part of the Invest in America Act, the House's Service Transportation Bill. The projects include $5 million for the Metro F line from downtown Minneapolis to Fridley, $4.5 million for the Metro E line between the University of Minnesota and Edina, and $3 million for the Cedar Seward pedestrian bridge at I-94. The package would also provide over $20 million for the Metro Blue Line extension light rail transit project, which will extend the existing Blue Line LRT from Target Field Station Northwest to Brooklyn Park and connect communities along the way. The Invest in America Act makes transformative investment in America's infrastructure, creates millions of jobs, advances bold action on the climate crisis, invests in affordable housing, and expands affordable high-speed internet to marginalized communities. This legislation reinvests in communities and addresses the long-standing disparities. I'm glad this package includes my provisions to address long-standing disparities and invest resources needed to help future generations thrive. The transportation funds will also help connect underserved communities and make our city more accessible to people commuting into Minneapolis. I also want to highlight more great news for the 5th. We heard back from the appropriations committees, and we have been able to advance $14.4 million in funding for 10 community project funding projects that we submitted back in April. The projects invest in the community that were hit the hardest by both the pandemic and the social unrest in the past year by addressing joblessness, food deserts, housing insecurity, and access to healthcare. The other projects that were funded in our community project funding are a new Hennepin Healthcare Clinic on East Lake Street, skills training for clean energy careers over at North, sprinkler updates for the Minnesota Public Housing Authority that we thought were important to advance because of what happened in the public housing in Cedar Riverside, funding for the Minneapolis American Indian Center, new workforce training in South Minneapolis, food business incubator at Northside Economic Opportunity Network, new recreation building in North Commons Park, update to the Sabathani Community Center, Brooklyn Center Health Initiative, and funding for the Wadak Commons apartment in Seward. These are all great projects that we have been successful in advancing the resources to help fund and complete. I wanted to get into some casework stuff that we have been dealing with in our district office. Our office offers constituency services for a variety of issues our constituents might be dealing with. I want to take a couple of minutes to discuss what's going on and how we can help. First, my team has been getting a lot of questions about issues with the IRS. There are 3 main issues constituents have been experiencing. 1 is tax return delays, 2, missing stimulus payments, and 3, issues with the advanced child tax credit that we were able to pass and secure in the last bill that we voted on. For tax returns, the most common hiccup for people who filed on time and still haven't gotten their tax return. Almost all of these returns are being held up due to the IRS's very old computer system. The IRS explained to my team that once their computers have reached capacity for the number of returns it could process on a given day, it puts them into an error status until they have enough computer power to process them. For some reason, once a return is in this error status, it is not processed in the order it was received. So someone filing in a less busy tax day in April will get their refund before someone who filed months earlier in a busy day. It is a very complicated situation. The IRS doesn't have a way to act on returns once they are in this error status. They have told us that the only option is to wait until the return is finally accepted and processed. Once that happens, the return is typically able to be issued pretty quickly. This situation highlights how important it is for Congress to fund new computer systems and increase staffing levels at the IRS, which is something that we are working on with some of the appropriation bills that we are putting through this week. My team is not able to get your returns out of this error status. However, some other issues could be impacting your return. For example, if you don't usually file your taxes, but did this year in order to claim a stimulus payment or a child tax credit, the IRS might need to complete an identity verification process. So my team has been able to help with people who are in this situation and have cases like that. So please reach out to our office if your return is delayed. We can't help with everything, but we are able to make sure that we are able to get you an answer. And if there's something that we can do, we will be able to do that for you. For missing stimulus payments, most people who conduct our office are missing their third stimulus payment, also known as the economic impact payment. Unfortunately, members of Congress are no longer able to work with the IRS to address missing stimulus payments for the first or the second round. People are still able to claim their full stimulus payment or whatever portion of it you didn't receive through your 2020 tax return. The IRS's website has all the information that you need in order to figure out what you can do to recover your rebate credit. If you are missing your third stimulus payment or received it and received an incorrect amount, we might be able to address that on your behalf. The IRS still is working on issuing these payments, and in any instances, you might need to wait for a physical check to arrive in the mail. You can also check with the IRS's Get My Payment tool. That portal will hopefully provide information on when you can expect your stimulus if you haven't yet received it. If the portal says you should have received a payment, but you did not, you might need to request a payment trace. If you've gone through the steps and still have not been able to determine the status of your third stimulus payment, please feel free to contact our office and we will be able to inquire with the IRS and see if we can figure out what is going on there. Earlier this month, the IRS began distributing the advanced child care tax credit, the advanced child tax credit payments to eligible families, which we are really excited about. We've been hearing that many of our constituents have received them as expected, but many folks might still be experiencing some challenges and might not have received it. If you've not gotten your child tax credit payment, please see if the IRS thinks you are qualified by going to their portal for the child tax credit. people whose children are born in 2021 or people who didn't file tax return in 2020 or 2019 will need to give the IRS additional information in order for them to be able to start receiving those payments. If you are one of those people that is experiencing some challenges with this, please reach out to our office and we will answer some of your questions directly. And we can reach out to the IRS on your behalf to try to see how we can help get this money to you. On a policy level, we've had been able to co-sponsor a number of bills that would help fix all of these issues. Funding for new computer systems, as I said earlier, modern technology, increasing staff levels, and better enforcement for super wealthy people who are dodging their taxes. It is a shame that the IRS has become so polarized. I understand that people are upset when they see money coming out of their paychecks every month, but the IRS does so much more than just collect taxes. They also carry out so many of our crucial safety net programs, including the stimulus payments we just talked about and the child tax credit payments as well. We can't keep asking the IRS to do more and more work for the American people in times of need when we don't get them the funding that they require to be able to get it all done. So my team has been working on trying to help in that process. We've also been getting a very, very high volume of questions and concerns that are related to small business relief. The high volume has been on the economic injury disaster loans, as well as the restaurant revitalization fund and the shutter venue operating grants. Most often, people are stuck waiting for a response, or if they get a response, they find out that they have been denied with little information provided about why and how to address those issues. Unfortunately, these issues appear to be rooted in IRS delays